Welcome to Married to Portuguese. On each episode, my English-Irish husband, Bob, and I discuss and laugh about our life and adventures in the Portuguese culture.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
I was wondering how you were going to show that off.
Well, the sponsors meeting the other day.
There are no sponsors.
I was talking to myself, and I said, T-shirt would be fun.
A T-shirt would be fun.
But I'm not selfish. They are available for sale on AzoreanGreenBean.com.
Well, where's...
In a variety of colors and sizes.
Where's mine? Oh, okay. All right. We'll see next time. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Maria's Portuguese Table.
Yep.
Season 2.
Yep.
Episode 7, which is split between Sao Jorge and Pico.
Pico.
It was a whirlwind.
It really was.
It was a whirlwind.
It was a whirlwind. As we mentioned in our last episode, when we were in Sao Jorge, I mean, that island just kept giving us so many gifts. I mean, it really was, and I've said this before, to me, it was a very spiritual island. For whatever reason, it hit me so different than I think it hit you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe because when we're there, when we're doing that work, I was wearing a different hat. So I was very concerned about the logistics.
True.
And getting around and all of that stuff.
And I didn't worry about that.
And that wasn't that wasn't on your mind. That's why I was there. But in hindsight, I feel much stronger about the island than I did when I was there.
Yes. Yeah.
And so we start episode 7 by finishing up our visit on Sao Jorge with our friend Nelson Pontegrasa and his wife Kathy.
Yes.
Who took us to their
fascia. Yes.
Which required us to travel on 4 wheels.
Oh boy.
Which was great. So, you drive all the way down the steep cliff, the windy, steep cliff, and you get to this parking area where they had 4-wheelers waiting for us.
Yes.
A bunch of them, and some had to make 2 trips because we had so much equipment, and, you can only put so many people and so much stuff on things. And then off we went. And it was a heck of a ride. Now, I went ahead of you.
Yes, you did.
And I was the first one out to the Feijá with all of the stuff. You had to get me out of the way, quite frankly, so that the rest of them could do their work. But it was funny because you're driving along, you're riding along, bouncing along, take your pick, and you've got cliff wall and sheer drop.
A sheer drop.
And you're in jungles, like there's trees growing off the cliff, and you're peeking through the trees.
Yep.
It was just a bouncy ride. I think we were all in helmets too, weren't we? Am I misremembering?
No. We had our camera guy in a helmet.
That's right, because they were doing some things that probably were not OSHA approved.
No, they were.
We were out of the country, so. So there you go.
They were in a 4-wheeler. It was the 4-wheeler Nelson and I were in, because after he had dropped off everybody, I just stayed behind and waited till all of that. And then 2 4-wheelers came up. One was for Nelson and I, that, I had well, you'll see that. And then the other 4-wheeler was another driver, our sound guy, Mark, and the other cameraman, Charlie. And he was facing, so it's going this way. He's facing me with the camera. I'm mic'd up, but the sound guy is in the other thing ahead of me. And so Charlie does not know where that bounce is coming or where we're turning, because his back is to where we're heading. And he's like, oh my God, it was, and I kept going, oh my God, like, please, I don't want you to fall, because if he fell, there were no guardrails.
No, hopefully you'd fall in the middle of the road.
Yes, that was the thing, because there in some of that spot there were no guardrails. If there was, it would have been like, like a log, like a log laid out somewhere but there are no guardrails. So it was, yes, there was a lot of screaming. They had to cut all the screaming.
But the guys driving the four-wheelers, they do that all the time.
They do it all the time. They're like, oh, this is nothing.
My driver was on his cell phone while we were bouncing. Yeah, he took a call.
Oh, no. We did not have that.
But so you get
I didn't even know that.
You get through this harrowing ride, and suddenly you're at what one of the areas the New York Times said was one of the 10 most beautiful places.
Like the most beautiful place in the world was there.
Just stunning. Stunning's the only word that comes out of it. The true meaning of it.
Yeah.
The true meaning of stunning.
I can't say it enough. It is so pristine. It is like otherworld-like. Because you're there and things are so lush, beyond lush. And I come from San Miguel. It's the island, the green island. It's not like I'm not surrounded by green or in any of the other islands we were in, with the exception, of course, of Pico. There's all of that lushness. But this is different. I think it was the extreme of those cliffs that went so, everything was like, just beautiful. Beautiful.
The surroundings are beautiful. The lighting was perfect because we were coming up on the golden hour in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, yeah.
All of that. The ocean was there. We were a distance away from another feijão. We could see their church. They were big enough to have a church.
Yep. That was the Santo Cristo feijão.
That's right.
The feijão Santo Cristo.
Just stunning. But we had to get to work.
Yes.
And so then Nelson and Kathy started cooking the
Amejos
and the lapis.
Yeah.
Which amazing.
Which were incredible, yeah.
They come out of the lagoon that was, 100 yards from where we were.
Yeah, that was caught right there.
Filming.
Yeah, it was caught there that morning. There's only, the amejos can only be harvested a certain amount of, there's allotted time in the year that you can harvest them. You can only get those types of amejos, those clams. They're clams. There's these beautiful little clams. Only in that feijão. It only is there, and it's limited amount. And so for us to be able to have that when we did, that was a gift, and that was because of Nelson and his wife. And then that morning, he had someone go out and get us fresh lapas. So lapas are limpets, and so one side is closed on to the rocks and all of that stuff. So some people have to dive under to get these to be released from the rocks. And it is also incredible. And that has a certain harvest time also, that you can only pick them within a certain amount of time. So we just happened to get there at the right time.
Yeah, that was great. And then we wrapped up filming, and then we took the ferry over to Pico.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. It was beautiful because, you've seen the episode already, but we're in the boat, and so Dean and Charlie and the guys are like, okay, Maria, come up front, because I was sitting in the back. Everyone had beat us to the seats in the front. Whereas from, when was it? When we did the, no, I take it back. No, we had the front seats. When we did Pico to Fayal, I had to sit in the back.
Right.
But in for Sao Jorge to Pico, we had front seats. So we were able to record, all the stuff there, and seeing dolphins to either side of the boat.
Couldn't get in to see the captain, though.
No,
Captain was busy. Would not.
Captain
would not let us in, or he didn't want us to see how easy the job was. He wouldn't let us in. It was either really hard or really easy. Either way, he didn't have time for us.
Yeah.
And funny story. I don't know if you remember. So we get off. We were one of the few people that get off the boat in Pico.
Yes.
Because a lot were going on to Fayal. and we were picking up our car. And the car rental place doesn't have an office there. That's small. They just meet you.
Right.
They just meet you. So you and the crew were gathering the luggage, and I went out into the parking lot to go find the car rental guy. And so I found it was pretty easy. He was the only person still in the parking lot, and I owed like $18 for the rental, and so his credit card reader didn't work. I'm like, okay, I'll give you 20 euros if you can give me like, €2 and change back. He said, well, I don't have change. So now we're at this stalemate. So you came to give me the car, I owed you $18, and you can't collect it, and we're just standing there. Like, well, how about I just give you the 20 euros, and next time I see you, you can give me €2.
This is the first time I've heard this. I did not know this.
It was just so funny. Yeah, like he wasn't going to give me the car. He needed the $18.
I did not remember. I had no idea.
It was funny. And, certainly his English was better than my Portuguese. So
yeah,
we worked it out. But that was pretty funny. And then, we got into, gosh, I'm terrible with names.
We went to Pico. And we went we landed there, got into the van, and then went right to the Whalers Museum at Pico.
Yeah.
And
that was
filmed.
great.
Yes. Oh my goodness, they were so nice. And Anna, I think Anna was her name. She's just really a sweet woman. And the director there was like, whatever you need, just let us know. They were very, very sweet. And but there is one thing about Pico, and we've got to say this right off the bat, and that is we had a lot of cancellations. We had a lot of people who said no to us. And so when we were at Pico and at the Whalers Museum, we had mentioned it to them that, we had a few people cancel on us. I needed to make the caldeira de peixe, which is this fish stew that Pico is known for. And I was supposed to be cooking and making that. That was one of the things in Pico. Besides the wine, I wanted to make this fish stew. And they're like, "What do you mean? Of course you'll be able to find. I'll call around." So while we filmed, he was calling around to people saying, "We have someone here who wants to make this," and all that. And then came back and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. The people that I thought would be able to help you, they can't do it either." He's like, "I don't know what's going on, but I can't." So then our next one we went to
the wine co-op.
The wine co-op, that's right. And once again, they were just beyond lovely. We went on a day that they were closed, and but they opened for us, and it was such a nice time with them.
It really was great. Great facility. So again, so clean.
Yeah, everything is very pristine, and the knowledge that he had, and I was tasting stuff, going, "Oh, it tastes so good." And then the vinshade, which, I'm drinking it and I'm like, I remember when my dad would make this, and it was like, all of a sudden it was like memories came back of my dad. It was like really great. And, they were sweet. And then we finished filming and we said the same thing. They're like, "Oh, where are you going next?" And we're like, "Oh, we had all bunch of cancellations. No one wants to cook with us, blah, 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 blah." And they're like, "No." And at that point, one of the owners, the main owners of the co-op, gets there, and so the gentleman we were with says that to him, and he's like, "Oh, let me call. I'll call around. I'll get you something. I'll find you someone to cook with." And so while we're still talking and having a great time with them, he comes back, same thing, and he's like, I can't find anybody for you. I can't.
No,
nothing.
He had, friends with restaurants.
Yes.
And they were just, as we said before, they were tapped out. They'd had such a busy season.
Yep.
And they were tired.
And, yeah. So by the time we got there, that they were
done.
They were done.
They were done.
And then the third place we filmed was Czar Winery, and with Fortunado Garcia. Wow. That's all I have to say. Wow.
And first of all, Fortunato's a great guy.
Oh.
Great guy. You always want to be around him.
Oh, yes.
He has such a great personality.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Again, so generous with his time with us. And, when you see the episode, when we're out filming in the vineyard, which is like being on another planet.
Yes.
With the lava stone, it was hot. I don't know if that comes across. It was stupendously hot.
Very hot
that day. And there's no shade.
No.
There was just no shade, and we were out in the sun for a couple hours.
Yeah, time.
Couple hours, and then we went to his quinta
At Adega.
Yeah. Other side of the island.
Adega.
Had a nice lunch with him, and got to see how he ages the wine. And
I mean, you'll get to see all. I mean, you got to see all that.
You'll
get to see all that.
Really great. We loved Pico. We loved our time there. We knew we just weren't getting the full Pico experience, and we apologize. It just didn't work.
It just didn't work. And what's funny it isn't funny because we would have wanted to do more in Pico, but at the end, I turned to Dean. I think we were all together and having dinner one of the last nights we were there, which the food was amazing in Pico. Again, people that we met, the ones that we met, fantastic. I mean, the wines are incredible. But, at the end, we're all sitting there and we're like, how can we make a full episode? What can we do, to make it a full? Because I didn't want to feel like we didn't give our all to all of the islands that we were in. But that one was done. It was like everything that we tried to do beyond the 3 things we did and filmed was not maybe. It was no.
Yeah, just no.
It was no. And and all 3 that we did film, all of them said the same thing. This is not typical Pico. It's just, this is one of the busiest tourist seasons we've ever had. And we're tired. Everyone's tired. They're all tired.
I'm just thinking, what I remember is we had some great meals at some great restaurants.
Yes.
Just like the downtime where we put the cameras away for the most part and going off for dinner, or we're going to take 2 hours for lunch. And we went to the seafood buffet for lunch like 2 days in a row.
Yes, we did.
That was really good.
Which was just around the hotel where we stayed there. Yes.
Ate outside on the patio.
Yes.
Then we had the dinner at the, ended up being like a health food restaurant because we couldn't get in anywhere else. And that was...
Oh, where they did all the small little plates.
Yeah, they did like the topper.
Yes, that was really great too. And
then only to find out where we had lunch with Fortunato the next day was owned by the same people, which
made sense.
The menus were fantastic.
Which is
so great. So again, we have a lot of love for Pico. We want to get back to all the islands, but we've got more story to tell.
Yes.
Definitely.
But yes, I hope you enjoy the rest of Sao Jorge and Pico, and hopefully we'll be able to get back there one day, and it'll have you looking at it and going, "Ooh, I'd like to discover that too."
I want to get back to Pico and say, "Bom dia."
Everywhere you go, "Bom dia."
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
All right,
all right, guys. Bye now.
Ciao. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'd love to hear your ideas for topics. Ciao.